Is it possible to share the entire screen here in the Zoom?
Yes,
Because
yes,
I have slide and I have to also show the Matlab interface. So simultaneously I want to show the both
yes. You can share the entire screen.
entire screen.
There is three option: Chrome tab, window, and enter screen. Go to the share screen,
Okay.
and then there are three option.
I got
One,
it. Yeah.
yes,
Now I think my screen is visible.
yes. Screen is visible. Yes, yes,
Now slide is visible.
yes,
Okay. And also let us check the Matlab. Is it visible now?
yes.
Okay.
Okay. So, madam, you can start.
Yes. So, welcome back, everyone. I hope you all feel enriched with the inaugural session. Now we begin the technical part of our workshop, Scientific Computing and Documentation with Matlab and LaTeX. It is my pleasure to invite Dr. Abhijit Das, Assistant Professor from the Department of Mathematics of NIT Silchar, who is an expert in Matlab. With his expertise and insightful approach, we are sure to gain valuable knowledge and fresh perspective. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am, for the introduction part. And okay, so as I instructed that I have to provide a very basic talk on MATLAB. So also I will assume that maybe all of you have the MATLAB software in your PC, because it will be better if whatever I will show you, if students will also uh, practice it with me, then it will be easier for them to learn. Okay, so myself, Dr. Abhijit Das, I am an assistant professor in Department of Mathematics of NIT Silchar. So, and also I would like to thank Dr. Nilayda for this opportunity to give the talk here. Okay, let us start the talk. So, my uh, this is my first slide, which as this is the basic MATLAB talk. So, better to start from the beginning. So, start with the history of MATLAB. As you know, MATLAB stands for two words. One is the mat and the second one is lab. And mat stands for matrix and lab stands for laboratory. So MATLAB together stands for the matrix laboratory. And this picture I have given that Claude Moeller. So he was a mathematician and computer programmer. He was invented the MATLAB first in 1970. So you can see MATLAB has a huge long history of 50 years. And in 1970, at the University of New Mexico, that Professor Moeller thought that he can give a bypass of the well-known language Fortran, because that was the era of Fortran, and Fortran is always also a language, programming language. You know, maybe it is like for C, C++. Fortran is also a very old language. So in that time, it was a Fortran era. He thought that for his students he can introduce some software which was basically for the matrix. So it was combinations of two basic software. One is the LeanPack and the EastPack. LeanPack stands for the solving system of linear equations, and EastPack stands for the that eigen system solving system package. So he has combined these two things, and then he has introduced the MATLAB at 1970, but it was not available for the world in that time. Only for his lab fellows he has started, and later Moeller with Jack Little and Steve Bengard, they thought that why don't we introduce this for the whole world as a commercial. So they have commercialized this as a MathWorks in 1984, almost 14 years back. And then from the 1984, the MATLAB software was commercially launched to everyone, and anyone can purchase this software from the MathWorks website and they can use for their computational part. Okay. Now let us go for my third slide. So before going to starting the MATLAB things, let us give a glimpse on the what are the advantages we have in MATLAB. So first one, that is it is very easy to use. MATLAB has some built-in editor, debugger systems, rapid prototype tools. So for this kind of things, it is very easy to use the MATLAB. That is not that much difficult to use this MATLAB. Second point is that platform independence. So it is a software, MATLAB is a software. You can install it in your whatever the operating system you are using, whether it is Windows, Linux, Unix, Mac, anything. You can download this MATLAB software and you can seamlessly run the software in any operating system. And next, it has many predefined functions. That is the major advantage of MATLAB. For example, suppose you want to hello, should I continue?
Yes, sir. You can continue.
Okay. So
Hello, Science sir. Please mute
the
your.
major advantage of the MATLAB software is that there are many predefined functions. So suppose, for example, if you want to get the inverse of a matrix, and if you are in other programming language, you have to at least write 2-3 lines to get the inverse of the matrix. Disturbing me. So if it's possible to mute from the organizer side, yeah, now it is okay, I think. So as I was telling that, suppose you want to get the inverse of the matrix and just provide the data of the matrix to the MATLAB, it has the predefined programming for the inverse of the matrix. Simply you just use the INV of the matrix A. The matrix A already you have given, and that will give you the inverse of the matrix. So these are the advantages, major advantages you will get in the MATLAB. And also the last one, device independent plotting. Like if you go for C or other programming language, if you want to plot some graphics or figures, in that case, you have to take the help from the other software. But here it has the advantage that in the same software, you can, that is a MATLAB software, you just give some comments which will plot the graphics which you want to plot. Okay, these are the advantages, but nothing, there will be some disadvantages also for MATLAB, but these are just a cons. I should not tell the disadvantages of MATLAB, but these are some like pros and cons. So these are some cons. First one is the execution speed. As I told you, MATLAB takes various, MATLAB takes many inbuilt tool for his programming part. That's why sometimes it will be a bit slower than the compared to the other compiled language. But it can be done in a speedier way if you can use the in your code, the efficient code. If you can construct, that speed can be increased. And also let us go for the cost. As you know, MATLAB is very expensive. So individually, if you want to purchase the MATLAB, it is very much expensive. And compared to the C and Fortran, it doesn't have the cost. But nowadays, almost in every institute, every university, they have the license of MATLAB. They have purchased it. That's why it is now almost everywhere available. Okay, these are the advantages and disadvantages of MATLAB. Now let us go the primary objective of my talk. So as I want to aim on this talk to help you quickly and easily learn the basics MATLAB. I have 2 days talk, today and tomorrow. So today I will give you the basic things, how to use MATLAB, what are the basic things of MATLAB, basic calculations, basic operations, functions, derivative, integrations. These things today I will discuss. And tomorrow I will show you how to use the matrix, vectors, matrix operations, those kind of things we will discuss tomorrow. And it will be helpful if you, that is the main motto, that learning by doing. So if you try with yourself along with me, that will be very, very helpful for your learning. Okay, so let us start. So before going to the MATLAB coding part, the first question comes in that how to log in the MATLAB and how to quit the MATLAB software. So there are two ways to use the MATLAB. If you have the license from your institute or from your university, either you can install the MATLAB from the MathWorks site and then install in your desktop. There will be one icon. Let me show you. So if you install the MATLAB, then this will be some shortcut will be there like that. I think it is visible. And this one you can double click to open your MATLAB. So already I have MATLAB. This is my MATLAB. Okay. And another way to use the MATLAB is so this yellow line where it is coming. Anyone? Okay.
Maybe someone is
Okay.
drawing
Okay.
the
Now it's
lines.
removed. Okay. Okay. Thank you. So second one is that to use the MATLAB, you can directly use the MATLAB online. If you go to the MathWorks site, there is the option MATLAB online that also you can use directly. If you don't have MATLAB in your computer, but if you have license through your email ID, that also you can access. So these are two ways to use the MATLAB, and simply you can download the MATLAB, you can log in through your email ID, and that will give you the access to use the MATLAB. Okay, next is that how to open. One, it is installed in your desktop. You just log in through your account, the MATLAB software, and that will give you, I have already shown you that MATLAB shortcut icon will be visible to your desktop, and that you can double click to open that MATLAB. Now, once you open the MATLAB software, these are the main things will be appear in front of you. It is a MATLAB has a desktop versions. MATLAB, that desktop version, if you open, it will give you the this four general windows. Let me tell you. So first of all is command window. Second one is the workspace. Third one is the current directory, and fourth one is the command history. So let me show you in the next slide that I have given a demo of the MATLAB. So usually you should get this kind of interface if you open the MATLAB for the first time. And it has, you can see I have given I have pointed out 4 places. So this one, the current directory indicates that the folder where you have the other files, and whatever you are doing in the MATLAB, if you want to store those things, that will be stored in this folder, current directory. And you can see here I have given workspace. This workspace means this is now blank. If you write something in the command window, whatever you will giving some variables names, others type of programming or coding, that will be initially will be showing at the workspace. Suppose you are introducing a is equal to 2, b is equal to 3, and then you have you are doing some another type of codings. Everything will be stored as workspace, and whatever will be in workspace, if you want to store those things, that will be in the current directory. And this is the command window. You can see in the below that command window is the major part of the MATLAB. Whatever you want to give the command, suppose you want to do the inverse of the matrix, or you want to do some other type of calculations, some other type of simulations, all that kind of comments you have to write at command window. And the script or function space that I have mentioned, that is the bigger one. So that I will discuss tomorrow. What are the script and function spaces? Today, whatever will show you, that will be sufficient to do with the command window. Okay, and also these things are not fixed. You can change the orientations or arrangement of that windows by dragging the things as your whatever you need, that you can do here. Okay, now go to the mathematics, the MATLAB parts, coding part. Before going to the coding, these are the basic operations which will be very, very helpful in any mathematical experiments. So these are the common 5 operations called as addition, subtractions, multiplications, divisions, and power of something. So additions that has the sign plus sign, same sign you can use for the MATLAB also. If you want to use the subtractions, that is also the same sign, minus sign. But if you want to do the multiplications of two things, that can be matrix, that can be row vector, that can be column vector, that can be simple digit, then you have to use the asterisk symbol. And if you want to make divisions, that case you have to use the backslash symbol. And also if you want to power, in that case you have to use that exponent symbol. I will show you the examples. So here you can see, first of all, whenever we learn some mathematics or we learn some programming language or basic things, that how to get the calculations or how to use that software or programming language as a calculator. So this is the example if you want to use the MATLAB calculator. So let me go to the MATLAB. So okay, I think my MATLAB interface is visible here.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so as you see, it is totally empty. This is where the cursor is playing. It is the command window, and I have the workspace that is also blank, and I also the current directory that is also blank because I have not started anything. So this is the, if you open and log in the MATLAB for the first time, you will see this kind of interface in MATLAB. Okay, now you see, simple if I write in the command window 2 plus 3, and then if you make it enter, simply they gives the answer 5. This ANS stands for the abbreviation of answer. If you do not give a particular variable's names to whatever you are doing, they simply take the ANS as the predefined variable for the final answer. So, but if you want to make his answer A is equal to 2 plus 3, and then you can make the enter, you will see they have given the value A is equal to 5 because I have given the variables names A, that is equal to 2 plus 3. Previously, I have written 2 plus 3. Simply, they have given answer is equal to 5, but now I have given the variable name that is A, which is equal to 2 plus 3. And you can see here also in the workspace, that bottom left side corner, they have given the variable A. They have stored the variable A, and what is the value of that variable? That is 5. And what is the size? 1 cross 1. That means whatever will be stored in MATLAB, always they take it as a matrix or array. So it is a 1 cross 1 because it is scalar. That's why 1 row, 1 column. So in that way, suppose I want to make B is equal to 2 plus 3 into 5. So can you guess the answer? 2 plus 3 into 5. So it would be, so MATLAB have some hierarchy to use the that operations. Which operation will be used first and then second. Here in the expressions of B, I have two operations. One is plus, addition. One is the multiplication, that is the star, asterisk, right? So if you enter now, it will give you the answer 17. B is equal to 17. What is this? 5 into 3, 15 plus 2. So they have used the multiplications first and they have used the additions. So it has some hierarchy that I will discuss later. So in that way, you can go for any other. So you can give anything to the variable names. Let me give you ABC, that is equal to, suppose 2 plus 3 into 5 divided by 7. So as you know, they take first product and then divisions or division product simultaneously and then go for the plus or minus. Okay, so it will give you the answer 4.1.29 in decimal. Okay, so in that way you can use the calculator. Simply if you want to give the variables names, you can give any variables name, A, B, ABC, XYZ, X, Y, anything. Otherwise, simply if you want to make without any variable name, they will give you the results with answer variables. Okay, this is the basic things of the calculator part. So okay, another point is that if you want to, once you have that stored variable, that is A, B already, so now if I want to make 2 star A, What is the meaning of that? 2 into a. What is a? A is already have the value, that is the 5. So 2 star a, that means 2 times a should give you the value 10. So that is, you can see, if I make 2 star a, now becomes answer is equal to 10. Now suppose b is already has some value that I want to change the value. If I want to make 2 plus a, sorry, 2 plus a, now the new value for b will be 2 plus a. What is the a value? I know a value is given here 5. So this b is equal to 2 plus a, that would be 7. Now you can see b value earlier it was 17. Now it has been changed to 7. So these are the basic calculations part. In that way you can do any kind of calculations, but you can see still I have not used any kind of parenthesis. So basically in MATLAB you have to use the first bracket to give the priority which calculations you want to do.
MATLAB no basic notation never.
Any questions?
Please mute yourself, participant.
Okay, so if you want to do any kind of calculations, if you have some specific order, suppose you want to make plus additions first and then subtractions, then product. So in that case, you have to use the bracket, the parenthesis with the correct order. So it has some hierarchy that also I will show you. And let me go to that slide. So here, before going to more details of the calculations part, here are some important notes which I want to discuss first. So first of all, MATLAB always shows the error messages and corrections. That means, suppose if you make some mistakes in the MATLAB, let me show you in the MATLAB. Suppose I want to make 2 into a, 2a, but I want the multiplications, but I am not using the multiplication sign, that is the star asterisk. If I do not use that, then you can see MATLAB is giving the error message. What they are saying that unexpected a, check for missing multiplication operator. So nicely they have mentioned that what is the error here. So they have given that multiplication operator is missing, which is 2 star a, and also they have suggested, did you mean 2 star a, because that was the mistake. So these are the advantages of MATLAB. If you have some mistakes, that also they sometimes display very nicely. So this red color is the error messages. Okay, so now if I make enter, that will give you the answer. Okay, answer is 10. So they always gives the error messages. Okay, and also guide of corrections, that also you have seen that you can do to make your corrections if you have any mistakes in the input. Next one is the suppress output. So this is like use of semicolon. You can see whatever I have written till now in MATLAB, whenever I have entered, I have pressed the enter button, simply they have given the results as a display. But if you don't want to see the results currently, just you want to store the results as that variable name. Like my point is that suppose double A is equal to 5, double 5. Okay, that is double A is equal to 555. If I do not use the semicolon button, okay, tell me this these sentences are visible because it is very small, I think. Should I increase the font size? Because
Yes, sir. It is very much tough for us to see this.
you can see this one, this double A is equal to 555 in the below bottom. This line is visible to you nicely, or should I increase the font size?
No, sir. You should increase. I think you should increase the size of the letters.
It is okay.
Sir, actually, they are asking if you able to just increase the size.
Okay,
They
okay,
are
okay. So I think that will be done by the settings.
direct.
So there will be some one where will be font size, I think that is. Fonts. This would be, I make 18. Now, is it okay? Or should I
Yes, sir.
increase more?
This
It is
okay.
okay, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So I was telling the fact about the semicolon. So you can see here, if you use a semicolon after that, double A, that is the variable name I have used, that is equal to 55 I have written. So if I use the semicolon, just it will go to the next prompt, but it is not showing anything. It is not displaying anything in the command window. But you can see in the workspace, they have already installed or stored double A, that is equal to 55 value. So if you make the semicolon after any sentence in the MATLAB, that will not display the variables. But if you use this simply without any semicolon, and then if you make enter, that will display the value, that is double B is equal to 6. So that is the use of semicolon. So when you will have a long code, very big code, in that case you should use the semicolon in every lines, because otherwise all the lines, whatever the outputs, that will be displayed in the command window, and maybe you want the final results, so in that will be messed up. So that's why better to use the semicolon whenever you are writing a code. That is the use of semicolon in MATLAB. Okay, now the third point is saying the about computations. Suppose you want to you are doing some loop kind of things in the MATLAB programming, and suppose this loop is starting from 1 and is going up to 1000 or 2000 times, and once it started, you thought that my coding has some mistakes, I want to change the code, and you want to stop that running code which is running. If you want to stop that process, then simply you have to press Ctrl C whenever a running MATLAB code. If you want to stop that running MATLAB code, simply you just put Ctrl C, that will stop that computations, and then you can change whatever you want to change, corrections, and then that again you can run the MATLAB code. So those things I will discuss tomorrow. Now today another point is the continual line. So that is, continual line means, suppose you want to write that x is equal to 2 plus 3 minus 5, and suppose sometimes the expressions, mathematical expression is very long, very large. In that case, you want to, because though you can continue in the same line, but it will not demonstrate is a nice way for the code. So if you want to write it effectively, then you can't just add 3 dot at the end of that line and then make enter. Simply that will come to the next line, and then you continue whatever you want to write in that line. So this is the same line. If you also can write, sometimes the MATLAB, this one will be bigger, and in that case it will be continue as a second line. So you can see x equal to, I have written 2 plus 3 minus 5. So in that case, simply 3 dot means is a continuations of line. Now if I make enter, you can see the answer is minus 56. So it is a combinations of 2 lines. So it will be useful. It is not useful for when you have a small expressions, but it will be useful when you have a very large expressions, and some things you have to write, you want to write in the first line, and some part of the expressions you want to write in the second line. In that case, these three dots will be useful, and it stands for the continuations of the line. Okay, now come to the this one, comments. So whenever you will
Sir,
write
is it
the MATLAB code, sometimes it will be very useful for yourself also, that you are writing something and
sir? Is it will give the answer of both the lines or a single line?
then you have to use the separately, like x equal to, if you want to get the result 2 plus 3 minus 5, and then put a semicolon, then come to the second line, that is y is equal to minus 7 into 8. And then if you make enter, you will see what is x now. X is 0 because 2 plus 3 minus 5, that is the answer for the first line. And the second line, what is y? Y is minus 56. So in that way, you can get the answer separately for both the lines. But if you want the answer togetherly, then for both the lines, then you should use the 3 dot at the end of the first line. Is it clear?
Sir, thank you.
Yeah. So separately, just give the variables name, that will give you the value of the two lines. Okay. Okay. Next, I was here that comments. Comments means, suppose you want to write something in MATLAB, but you also want that MATLAB should not read that line. That is only for your help. Suppose you are doing inverse of matrices, or you are storing some value, and that in future, after suppose 1 year or 2 year, when you open the code again, and you want to know what are the things I have stored, just by seeing the MATLAB code, if you want to remember those things, then for that this percent symbol will be very useful. So you can see here, suppose I want to write ABC, that is equal to 2 plus 3 minus 5, and then semicolon, and then I am using the percentage, so storing the value of average, this kind of thing. Suppose some average I want to store in ABC. Simply, if I make the that enter bottom now, I can see what is ABC value, that is 0, 2 plus 3 minus 5. But they are not reading this line because it has started with a percentage sign. So whatever you will write in MATLAB by percentage sign, that MATLAB will not read. But if you same line, if you write without this percentage sign, then they can make some comment on that line, because now MATLAB will read that line. Okay, that's why always if you want to make some lines as comment, always better to use the percentage sign before that, and that will be MATLAB will not read that. Okay, these are the things. And the last one, that is the operation hierarchy. As I told you, like in calculator, if you use calculator in your mobile phone or anywhere, it has some hierarchy. If you do not use the correct order of parenthesis, that means bracket, it will simply use their hierarchy which they know how to get. So what is the general hierarchy? You know, that is it is mentioned here. So you can see the first, basically they follow the Botmas rule, you know, BODMAS, which is given here in the bottom. So B stands for brackets, O for the orders, that is the power, D stands for divisions, M for the multiplications, A for the additions, and S for the subtractions. This is the general order of doing the arithmetic operations. Also, you can see I have written, that is the first preference is that parenthesis. If you give any parenthesis, so whatever within the parenthesis, those things will be done first. Second preference will be in the same line I am talking about. So the second line, whatever will be in exponential things or power, suppose a to the power b and 2 to the power something. Okay, that maybe I have not given to you. So you can see here 2 to the power 3 I want to write. We all know the answer, that should be 8. So simply it will give you the answer 8. That is the way you should write the power 2 to the power 3. Okay, sometimes if you write 2 plus 3 to the power 2, So simply, as you know, power has the more preference than the two additions. So they will do first the power, that is 3 square. So that is equal to 9, and they will go for the additions. So 9 plus 2, that will give you answer 11. But here, if you want to make first the additions, that is 2 plus 3, that operations you want to do first. Then if you want to do the square, so in that case, you have to use the parenthesis, first bracket. Within that, you write 2 plus 3, and the outside you just make the power. So now the answer will be 25. So this is the use of the parenthesis, because parenthesis has the more priority than the power. So this first preference is the parenthesis, that is the bracket. Second one is the exponential or power, that is also order. It is written here as ordered. Third one is the either multiplications or divisions. Sometimes because these are similar kind of things. Multiplication means 1 by that. Division means that 1 by that is the multiplications. And addition and subtraction is the last priority. So in that priority way, they will do the experiments, or they will use the arithmetic operations. Okay. So if you don't want the general hierarchy of the operations, you should use a proper way of writing. Okay, now come to the next slide. That is the, okay, here I want to get the answer for this mathematical expressions. It is a huge expressions. You can see what is it says that 1 by 2 plus 3 square plus 4 by 5 into 6 by 7. So let us, it is already given the answer here. So 1 plus 2 plus, that is, you can see as this first part, 1 plus 2, 3, 2 plus 3 square, that should be done in first. So here I have used the bracket, because I have given both the answer here. If you do not use the bracket, then you will get the answer, wrong answer, that is a 10.1857. But if you use the correct bracket, then you will get the correct answer, that is 0.7766. That simply I can copy from here and I can put in the Matlab. That is the expressions 1 by 2 plus 3 square plus 4 by 5 into 6 by 7. Here I have not used bracket. If you want, you can use bracket, but no problem. It is a product, so obviously it will be done first. So if I take the bracket, that also you will give the same answer. But here in the last one, if I do not use the bracket, that also will give you the same answer. You can see here. But in the first one, that if you don't want to give the bracket, then it will give you the wrong answer. It will give you 10.1857. So you have to check where bracket is necessary. You have to put the brackets. Otherwise, you will not get the correct answer. Okay. So this is the use of bracket. So there are some exercise which I wanted to do here. So you can see what is the first expressions, that is 4 into 8 by 9 square plus 3 plus 5, that should be done first, then minus of 2 by 3 plus 2 cube. Okay, so this if I want to do, so I can see I have 4 into 8 by 9 square plus 3, that is in the first. So 4 into 8, that is I start the bracket, 4 star 8, that is 4 into 8. Then what was that? Sorry, by 9 square plus 3. So 9 square plus 3. So by, another one is that 9 square plus 3. That is the first part. And then it should be minus of plus 5. So plus 5, I can write plus 5. So this should be in one bracket. Now I can close the bracket here. I can start a bracket here. So this is my first part. Correct. This is first part. And then what was there? I had this this 2 by 3 plus 2 whole cube, minus of that. So let us make minus sign here. Start another bracket. What was that? I forgot. That is 2 by 3 plus 2 whole cube. So 2 by, again another bracket, 3 plus 2 to the power cube. So this is the complete expressions. And if you, after that, if you enter here, you will get the answer. What is the answer? 5.1991. And you can see the answer I have written, that is 5.1991. So in that way, you can also complete this exercise. So at the end of my talk tomorrow, I will send you that slide so that you can get these notes. Whatever I am telling you, what I am showing you, those things will be available to you. So, and in that way, which I have shown you for the first exercise, you can complete the second and third. So here you can, the third one, you can see I have written the square root. So how to write the square root, that also let us discuss. Suppose you want to get the value of square root of 4. What is that? That is the simply SQRT. You have to write, that is square root, and just in the bracket you write 4. That will give you the value always positive. If you want the negative square root, then you have to use the negative sign before the square root starting. So square root always will give you the positive sign. So SQRT stands for the square root. Similarly, if you want to get square root of 25, simply I have written square root of 25, SQRT 25, that will give you the value 5. In that way, you can get the value, the square root. Similarly, SQR 2 to the power inside 3 square plus 3 square is 9 plus 4 square. What should be the answer? 3 square plus 4 square and then square root. So this should give you the value 5, right? Because 25, square root of 25, answer should be 5. And in that way, you can evaluate the square root. Okay. Till now, do you have any questions? If you have any questions, tell me now. Then I will go further.
No, sir.
No? Should I proceed? Okay.
Sir, please continue.
Okay. So basically here the main point is that you have to use the parenthesis in a correct order. Otherwise, you will get the wrong answer. Okay, now come to that formatting. So you know floating point numbers will be there if you do some calculations. That means it will contain the decimal point within its expressions. So if you want to manage that floating point numbers, that means managing means or controlling. Controlling means how much point, because you know it has two part. One is the exponent part, another part is the mantissa. So which part, how many digit you want to keep, that is called the controlling of the floating point numbers. So you can see there are several type of formats available in MATLAB. So the first format, that is the format sort. Format sort means if you use that format sort, whatever the calculations calculated value, that will be appeared like that. After the decimal point, it will always show the 4 digits. This is the in general format of the MATLAB. If you do not use any kind of format, simply they use the general format, that is the format sort. Okay, because you can see also here, whatever the answer I got, those it might have the more digits also, but they have truncated or round up with 4 digits. This is the general format of the MATLAB. But if you want some specific format, suppose format long, if this format if you use, then you will see in general the MATLAB does the numerical calculations in double precisions. Double precisions means it will contain 15 digits after the decimal points, so that will contain this much. But same expressions if you use in format sort, that will contain only 4 digits, and that 4 digits means they had up to 4 digits and then rounded up the digits after 4, so that's why 7 comes here. So this is your choice which format you want to use, whether it is format sort or format long. These are not only the format available in MATLAB, there are a lot of formats available in MATLAB. Like let me in the next slide, I have 2 more formats. One is the format bank and second one is the format rat. First format bank, usually it is used in the financial applications, because if you use this format bank, it will always give you 2 digits after the decimal points. So here these expressions which I have calculated, that gives the 5.1991. The same expressions, if I want to calculate it again, but with the format bank, that means if I use the format bank and then make the calculations again, that will give you the result 5.20. You can see here I had 5.1991. It was my previous answer when I used the general format, but now after using format bank I have 5.20. That is my answer, because only 2 digits after the decimal points with round off. Similarly, as I told you, format rat. What is that? Format rat, it stands for the rational expressions for the digit. Suppose you want to get same value with the rational, then I want to copy it and I want to paste it here. As I have already given the format rat stands for rational, so it will give you the answer. You can see in the fractional part 1201 by 231. So it is depends on in your need what are the which format you want the answer. That format you can use. There are a lot of formats which are available in Google and in many Matlab books that you can familiar. Okay, so these are the formats of the presentations of the floating point numbers. Okay, now come to the next one. Here also I have given some examples in the right hand side as I have shown you right now. So next, okay, so managing the workspace already you know, these are my workspace. There are many things already stored, whatever I have given the variables names. Sometimes I have used A, sometimes double A, sometimes ABC, answer, it is the general one, B, double B, X, Y, these are already stored in the workspace because these are the things I have doing from the starting. And suppose you your workspace are now very longer and you want to see some what are the things are already stored. In that case, if you write that comment who, simply who and then make a enter, it will show you what are the variables already has been used. Because sometimes if you are doing a code, many variables names already you have used and you have to introduce a new variable names and you want to know whether that variables names has been used previously or not. In that case, you have to know what are the variables names you have used. Just simply write down who, that will simply give you what are the variables names already have been used. So these are the variables names, or it is also can be seen from the workspace. Okay, so this is the use of who. Sometimes you can write whos. In that case, it will show you the complete descriptions of the variables. In the first column, you can see these are the name of the variables. These are the size. What are the size? All are scalar. So that's why they are taking 1 plus 1. Sometimes if it is a vector or a row vector, column vector, accordingly size will come here. Bytes means how much size they have taken in your store, in your desktop. So all are 8 bytes, and these are classifications. Class is always double. If you want to make single class, there are two type of class, single and double. Single class means it will take less number of digits in their expressions, and double means the total full number of expression in the expression of the digits. So this is a class. So mainly we use the name and the size. These are very useful. So if you want to know that, it is also available in the workspace. But if you want to see it in the command window, simply write down WHOS on the command window. And then next, clear and CLC. Okay, so now suppose after sometimes you want to clear all the variables or clear some specific variables, because that you want to put it in a new way. So simply what I can do, I can write clear. Suppose I want to clear the A variable. What is the A variable? It is already stored as value 5, that is size of 1 plus 1. You can see in the workspace, that is A. Now I want to clear the A variable. So simply if I make clear A, and that will simply delete or clear the variable A from the workspace. If I make enter, you can see now A variable is not appearing in the workspace. So the variable A has now been cleared from the workspace. So if you write similarly, I want to clear the B or double B, it is also in the workspace. It has the value 6. Now if I make clear BB, it will simply clear the BB. Now, if you call for BB, you will see unrecognized function or variable BB, because already I have cleared the variable BB. Now MATLAB doesn't know what is BB, because BB has some value, now it doesn't have, right? Similar way, if you want to clear all the variables, simply you write down clear all. Clear all will remove all the variables, right? Clear all, and you can see all the variables has been removed from the workspace. Workspace is now clean, fully clean. So these are the use of clear. Okay, if you want to clear something from the workspace, that you have to use clear command. Clear all means all variables will be cleared, or specific you want to clear, then clear A or clear BB. Okay. Now also you can see I have whatever I have written from the beginning, these things are there in the command window. So this is now, this also you can clear. Simply you write down a comment, that is the CLC. CLC will clear whatever you have written in the command window. So if you just write CLC, then make a enter, you can see my now comment window is completely fresh, that is fully blank. So whatever I can write, f is equal to 2 plus 3, once I can write, again it will come in the command window, and also it comes in the workspace. But if I write down CLC, simply they will clear the command window, but CLC doesn't clear the variables names, it is already in the workspace. CLC only clear the things from the command window. Okay, but if you want to clear the workspace also, in that case you have to write down clear all. Clear all will remove the workspace also. Okay, and CLC will clear the command window. So these are the things you can use for the clearing the command window as well as the workspace. Okay, now let us go for the next one. So as you I thought that I will give you some mathematical expressions, how to write the mathematical expressions. And if you want to write down any mathematical expressions in MATLAB, obviously these things will come: sine function, cos functions, tangent or sine inverse, exponential, square root, logarithm, absolute value, signum functions. This kind of elementary functions you have to use in the mathematical expression. Sometimes it will appear. What are the code for that to write in the MATLAB? So suppose you want to write cosine x, simply write down cos x. That will give you the value cos x value. If you want to write sine functions, simply sine x. Similarly, tan x, this a cos stands for the inverse cosine functions. A sine, a tan, these are the inverse of the sine, tan, cos. Similarly, if you want to write exponential functions, e to the power something, you should write exp and then first bracket whatever you want to write in the exponent of the e. Okay, square already we have discussed. SQRT stands for the square root, sorry, and then log of x will give you the natural logarithm, but if you want some common logarithm, then you can use log 10, that is a base value, base 10. Similar way, absolute value, that will be given by a base x, and maximum, signum, minimum. In that way you can write down these things and you can complete it. Okay, just a minute, I will take a 1 minute break because I got an important call. Is it okay? Just a 1 minute break. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Abhijit Dash, for your insightful and engaging session.
Sorry, actually, I had a call, that's why I took the call. Just I will presume again. Okay, I had a call actually.
Okay, sorry.
So, okay, now come to that slide. So basically here I have given the some constant value which MATLAB knows already, like pi. MATLAB knows the value. If you write pi, MATLAB gives you the value 3.14159, like that. That value that will MATLAB will take care. I and j stands for the imaginary numbers. square root of -1, INF, that is the infinity sign in MATLAB. Suppose you want to use the infinity, that will be just you simply write down in INF, that MATLAB will take that one. NaN, not a number, NaN, suppose sometimes your expression contains 1/0 or that kind of things. In that case,
Sir,
MATLAB
does not PPT, show PPT.
PPT is not showing.
Not showing.
Oh,
And
then
your
maybe I
PPT
have
is
to.
not visible.
Okay. I have to share it again maybe. Now, is it visible my PPT?
No, sir.
That actually your Zoom screen is showing. Your screen is showing the Zoom portion. I think if you minimize this one, your PPT will be shown.
Can you tell me which screen you can see now?
That is that Zoom screen.
Okay, then let me stop sharing and then still my slide is not visible to you.
No, the Zoom screen is still showing.
You can see only Zoom. There is a tab. In tab, just Zoom side. Zoom.
Okay, I think now.
There is
Sir,
no.
yes,
No,
yes,
yes.
sir. Now it's showing.
Okay. So this is the constant already MATLAB knows. So if you want to use that pi value, or IJ stands for the imaginary unit, that is square root of -1, infinity stands for the infinity, and NaN stands for the not a number. Okay, so these things, if you see somewhere infinity or NaN, it stands for these things. And also if you want to use pi, because like see, I want to get the value of sine pi, and that will be stored as capital A is equal to sine of pi. So that will simplify, make enter here, that will give the value sine pi, and that is equal to, you can see they have given the value here, because I have already used the rational format previously, so they are giving that value. Now suppose I want to make format short, that will give you the decibel, and then if you want to see the value a sine pi, that is giving a very small quantity, because if they have computed that value, it should be 0, but they are giving some very small quantity, 0. There are 16 number of zeros, and because e minus 16, so there are 10 to the power minus 16, which is a very closer to 0. And suppose you want to get cos pi, that is cos, and suppose I want to store it as b cos pi by 2 value. So now it will give you the cos pi by 2 value that is given here. So in that way you can get the expressions for the pi. You can use the pi and the trigonometric functions. Okay, now come to the next slide. Suppose I want to get the value of this. Find the value of the expressions for a equal to 5, x equal to 2, and y equal to 8. And I have expressions y is equal to exponential minus a sine x plus 10 square root of y. So what I have to do here, I have to first write down this value in the MATLAB. What is a, what is x, what is y. Okay, that value I have to use first, and then I have to get the value of this. So what is that? A equal to 5, x equal to 2, and y equal to 8. So a equal to 5 semicolon, x equal to 2 semicolon, y is equal to 8. That already I have given first of all. So it will, you can see in the workspace, they have already have a is equal to 5, x equal to 2, y equal to 8. Then what is the expressions? This expressions gives you that exponential minus a into sine x. So I have to write down here exp for the exponential minus x. So minus x, that is the exponential minus x. Oh, sorry, minus a. It was exponential minus a, and then sine x. But here you can see it is a product. I should use the asterisk sign here. So exponential minus a into sine x. What was that? Exponential minus a sine x plus 10 square root of y. So here I have to use plus 10. Again multiplication sign. Square root stands for sqrt of 8. What was that? Sorry, y. Square root of y. You can see exponential minus a sine x plus 10 into square root of y. So that value I have given here, exponential minus a into sine x plus 10 into square root of y. Simply if I make the, because already MATLAB knows what are the value a, x and y, simply if you make enter here, that shows you the value 28.2904. It has taken the general format of 4 digits after the decimal point. So this will give you the value. Now suppose if I clear the variable name a from the workspace, and again if I want to get that value, you can see MATLAB will give you some error. What is the error? Unrecognized function on variable a, because I have removed the variable name a from the workspace. Now MATLAB doesn't know what is a. So for that you have to give the a first. What was the a value? A is equal to 5. That value let me give you first in the MATLAB, and then if you go for the exponential this quantity, MATLAB will give you the value, that is the 28.2904. Okay, so here I can have the answer. That is the answer. You have to write first the variables which you want to use, and then simply you just write down the expressions which you want to evaluate. Then if you make the enter, MATLAB will give you the value, that is 28.2904. Similar way, if you want to get log 142, just write log 142 in the command window, you will get the answer. Log with 10 base 142, that also you will get the answer. Sine pi by 4, exponential 10, that is e to the power 10. In that way, you can get the answer. Okay, next. So I have 10 minutes more. So I can show you that how to write down the functions. Suppose you want to write functions in MATLAB. So because if you do not, first of all, I want to show you how to write the functions with that @ operator. So what is the use of this operator? Suppose I want to write these functions in the MATLAB, that is f of xy is a 2 variable functions, x square minus y square. Why I want to write that function? Suppose I want to do the derivative of that functions, I want to do the integrations of these functions by using the MATLAB. Sometimes your functions might be very much complicated, and in that case if you want to do the derivatives and integrations by your in notebook by hand calculations, it will be a very big work actually. So in that case it will be very much helpful if you take the help from the MATLAB. So suppose I want to write the functions x square minus y square. So for that I can use that expressions. What is that expressions? F is equal to square root of x comma y in first bracket, because these are the variables. I have to give the comments to the MATLAB that what are my variables. So here I am using x and y as a variables. So for that you can see if I give f, that is a function name, @ of first bracket x comma y is, then there is a space. Simply I want to make x square plus y square. So now MATLAB knows what is f. F is a function of 2 variable x and y, and it is equal to x square plus y square. Just simply if I make the enter, you can see MATLAB already knows function handled with value, that is this. What is the advantage of this way of writing? Simply I want to get the function f at 1, 2. What is the meaning of that? What is the value of f when x will be equal to 1 and y will be equal to 2? So simply if I take this f of 1, 2 and if I make enter, that will give you the value 5. You can see x square plus y square, that was the expression for f. So if you simply change x equal to 1 and y equal to 2, that is 1 square plus 2 square. Simply that is 1 plus 4 is equal to 5. So in that way, once you give the expression for functions in the MATLAB, and then whenever you want to get the value, simply in that way you can get the value. Suppose I want to get 100 comma 2000. Very easily they will conduct the answer, calculate the answer, and this is the answer. So once you establish the expression for functions, so this is the way you have to give the expression in the MATLAB. If you simply, if you do not use that at the rate things, suppose I want to write this one, I want to change the function name g, and I don't want to keep this at the rate x comma y. Okay, simply g is equal to x square plus y square. Then you already x and y, it has some value previously, simply that value it has taken, because now they are not treating x and y as a variable, they are treating it as a constant. So if you want to make that x and y as a variable, you simply write at the rate x comma y. These things you should write in the beginning of the mathematical function expressions. Okay. Another way that here you can see I have not used the at the rate sign, but I want to write a expression that is the r is a function is equal to square root of x square plus y square. That is also a function of two variable, but here I am not writing x comma that is at the rate, this part I am not writing for here. So if you don't want to write this one, that is known as the symbolic expressions. In that case, first of all, you have to write down these expressions. Sy.
Sir, I have a question, sir.
Sy.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, there is in the first function f equals to xy comma x dot power 2. What is the meaning is the
These
dot?
things actually here today you don't have to use this dot. Okay, that I will discuss tomorrow. What is the use of dot here? Because I have not introduced the array yet. That is my next tomorrow's topic. That's why this full stop is not needed here. Only x square minus y square is sufficient, because I am giving the input. You see here, when I am giving the value this 100 comma 2000, these are scalar. But if you want to give the input as a vector, suppose you have a vector representations for x as well as y. In that case, if you want to do the calculations, in that case, if you do not have that that dot full stop sign, then it will not give you the, because this is the multiplications when you have the vector multiplications. Okay, that I will discuss tomorrow, though I have the full stop here, but this is the tomorrow's topic. Okay, clear? So just if you have scalar and without full stop, it is sufficient. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Now my point is that I don't want to write that one at the rate x comma y. So how to write the functions? In that case, I have to symbolize these things. That means my first line means that if you write down this one in the MATLAB, this means that now MATLAB knows that okay, x and y are now not a constant. This will be treated as variables. Now MATLAB knows that these are symbolic variables x and y. Now you can write down these things. R is equal to square root of x square y square. No need of writing this at the rate x comma y. Simply I can write down R is equal to this. Now R has that expression. Okay, what is R? R is equal to x square plus y square to the power half. That is the square root. They are writing in that way. Okay, but here there is a disadvantage of that. If you want to compute R 3, 4, that will give you the value. For finding the functional value at some point, you should write in this way. Then only you can compute the values. But there is a way, once you have this kind of expressions, if you just after that, if you write down this one, that simply transfer these expressions to the previous expressions. Now let me show you that. So I have, I have R equal to this, and before that I have symbolized x and y. So these are expressions. Now I want to make a function handle. So simply you write down f is equal to MATLAB functions. F is capital here. MATLAB functions first bracket R. R, what is R? R is equal to square root of x square plus y square. So if you enter it here, you will see I got the previous one. F is equal to at the rate x comma y square root of x square plus y square. Here by default they are using full stop here because always MATLAB thinks that I can give some vector calculations. So that I will show you tomorrow. Now if you ask for what is the value of f3 comma 4, f3 comma 4 will be square root of x square plus y square. So square root of 3 square plus 4 square, and that will simply is equal to 5. So this is the way you can write down any kind of mathematics expressions, whether it is in that form. F is equal to at the rate x comma y. Suppose if you have three variables, then introduce a new variable here, x comma y comma z, and that you write down here. Otherwise, you have to write down syms xy, and then r is equal to in that way. Okay, so this is the way you have to write down your functions. And
Abhijit,
yes,
why plus minus is not coming? Because square root of 3 square plus 4 square. So it
okay.
should be
Here
plus.
always they will take the square root will take the MATLAB positive. If you want the negative sign, you have to put a minus sign before square root.
Okay.
Square root here MATLAB will always take the positive square root. Negative sign you have to give it manually.
Okay.
Okay. So as the time almost reached to 1:15, so I'll stop here, and next day I'll start from the this derivatives and this differentiation and integrations, and then I will show you the basic matrix operation in MATLAB. Is it okay? Or now if I take some questions, if you have any doubt, any questions from this today's talk.
No, sir.
Yes, now it is for participate. If you have any question, then you can ask to the speaker.
Sir, I
Yes.
want to ask
Yes.
that for this function, if this MATLAB does not consider the square root for the plus minus, if there is a equation where like 5 square root of x square plus y square, then actually both the value, if we consider both the values, there will be two roots. Like when we solve a quadratic equation, actually we are going to get two values. But if MATLAB only considered the positive one, we will get one value only. So
yeah, the problem is that here
how to overcome
yeah, I
that
got
kind
your
of
question.
problem?
Yeah. So basically, whenever square root will be there, that will be having two values, plus and minus. But always MATLAB shows the final answer in a variable, either answer ANS or some predefined value. So MATLAB can't construct another variable names from themselves. Only one variable names he knows, that is the, suppose let me clear this thing. Suppose you are saying that a is equal to 2 plus square root of 16. So I know it has the value two values. Either it will be 2 plus 4 or 2 minus 4. But already I have given the values name a. So already he will show, MATLAB will show 6. Because if MATLAB wants to show minus value also, MATLAB has to assume another variable's name, that is either b or any other value answer, which is not acceptable in MATLAB cases actually. So that's why always it will show the positive square root value. If you want to take the negative, manually you have to put the minus. So whatever the mathematical expressions or whatever you are doing in your research or whatever, you have to, if you want to get the minus sign, that manually you have to put in the mathematical expression in the MATLAB. So here you will get the -2, because MATLAB will give only that one variable name. That is the main problem actually.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
Sometimes you are using semicolon after a code, and sometimes you didn't. Why this is like since x not comma only x space y, and then the next line you have put it a semicolon after the expression. Again not, but if I do not put semicolon after each line, there will be some problem, or it is okay to put sometimes semicolon or sometimes not.
Okay, got your question. So if you do not use the semicolon, there is no problem, but MATLAB will display you the output. Suppose I am writing x equal to 2 and then a space y equal to 4, and then you can just see there are some error here because I am writing the same line. But if I divide the line x equal to 2, then enter, and then y is equal to 4, enter. Simply I am not using a semicolon not in a single line. MATLAB is showing you the results. But same things, if I write x equal to 2 with a semicolon, then you will see MATLAB is not showing you the results.
I got it, but in seems x y, you have not put any semicolon there. If
So
I put
MATLAB
a
doesn't know here because it's
semicolon,
random
not
product.
comma. If I put a comma, then MATLAB shows only the value of y. If it is already mentioned the value of y. Seems x comma y. If I put that
No, still
s y m,
you can see
that
if you
thing.
make the comma, then you will see both the results. They will show
Now,
both.
if I write a function, long function that has
Okay.
many lines, many expressions,
Uh-huh.
and if I do not put semicolon after each line, there will be problem, or is it
No,
okay?
there will be no problem. Only simply when you run the code, no, if you have suppose 100 lines code, simply if you run the code, every line, whatever the output, that will be coming in your command window.
Okay, if I want to know the value of each line,
Then
some
you
value,
have
then
to
I
use the
should not
semicolon
put
only.
a semicolon. Okay.
If you
If I do
want
not,
to,
then I should put a semicolon.
yes,
And
correct.
again, if I in the first expression that at the rate x comma y function, then x comma y is there. But
Yes.
when in the alternative way, when you write that
This
x seems x and that thing, you did not write any comma between x and y. If we put a comma, I mistakenly write a comma, then the MATLAB shows something value of y, not
then
as
maybe
value.
MATLAB is terminating this maybe because if I write a comma between them, let us see what is here. So x comma y. Yeah, so they are only treating the first one as they symbolize, then the second one, whatever the value you had
Okay,
previously, that value they are showing. So that's why comma should not be there when you want
okay,
to make both the variables.
okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any more questions from participants?
Anyone have any other question? Okay.
No, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Ubijit Das sir, for your insightful and engaging session. Your expertise in MATLAB and clear explanations have truly enriched the participants' understanding and will be greatly benefited them moving forwards. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
The next technical session will begin at 2:30 p.m. and we kindly request all the participants